Good day, my fellow Americans. I'm here to address the issues and comments surrounding the Minister Jeremiah Wright. Now, it's true that Minister Wright was a pastor at my church. It's also true that Minister Wright was my spiritual advisor. But as of late, the things coming out of his mouth are bad. The things coming out of his mouth are deplorable and downright sickening. And I think it's important that I distance myself from Minister Wright because of the things that are coming out of his mouth for one simple reason. His breath stinks. Now, it's important that we're fair on this issue. So I'm going to level with the American people. His breath is hot. I mean, it's rough. His breath smells like hot dog water. I mean, he's got last year's breath this year. I mean, this guy's got morning breath in the afternoon and at night. I mean, this guy's breath reminds me of Paris Hilton. Spoiled. Now, I don't think this is an issue that the man has halitosis, but I do believe that this man probably has some form of asthmatolitis. And honestly, I've had to ask myself recently, how can this man be my spiritual advisor when he can't even exorcise the demon in his throat that's making his breath smell like train smoke? Now, the American people want to know something. They want to know, if I knew about these bad things coming out of his mouth, why didn't I speak up about it sooner? Look, I'll admit, perhaps I should have. But I want you to consider something. How do you tell someone that they have bad breath? I mean, you can't just come out and say, hey man, your breath stinks. That's unprofessional. So I'll admit, I struggled with how to handle this situation. Now, I gave this man signs. I offered him a stick of gum. I got in a situation where I even asked this man about his favorite mouthwash. In fact, for Christmas, I bought this man a toothbrush. A toothbrush. And even when I mustered up the courage to tell this man about his situation, the scent of his breath would send me into a state of confusion. I mean, he didn't even have to talk. This man's breath would stink through his face. I mean, his breath smelled like trash truck juice. Now, we plan to launch a campaign against his bad breath. As many of you know, in our campaign, we talk a lot about hope. But you got to understand something. This campaign is not about hope. This campaign is about scope. Scope, Listerine, Listerman, Lavorce, Act 2, it doesn't matter. This man needs an antiseptic. Now, although this campaign does not endorse terrorism, we have made contact with the Taliban and asked them to drive a peppermint bomb truck into his mouth. But again, this campaign is going to be about scope. And speaking of scope, we have snipers with scopes on their rifles on Minister Wright's roof as we speak. They have military authority to shoot this man in the mouth with hollow point breath mints. And we're asking him to cooperate. But let's understand something. As Americans, we have to help this man get through this situation. But until we can rectify his breath problem, we are asking Minister Wright to refrain from talking to anyone in public. Now, should he decide that he wishes to communicate with people, we ask him to adopt the motto of the Society of the American Florists. Say it with flowers. God bless America, and keep Scope alive.